Victor Von Doom had stood proudly his victory over the Avengers final and total. However, in gaining this victory, he lost the thing he loved most in this world, and now he will do whatever it takes to get it back. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of One World Under Doom issue number 9. The grand finale of this event, and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from the jaw-dropping finale of the previous issue, we are treated to a series of flashbacks going out of their way to explain Doom's long history, with his goddaughter Valeria Richards, how he helped bring her into this world, how she touched his heart in a way no one else was able to, and how she managed to earn not only Dr. Doom's respect, but also at times be the only person who was actually able to coax out his better angels. It's for all those reasons and more you can understand why Victor is positively mortified that at the end of that previous battle, him lashing out caused Valeria's death. A death that is not so easily reversed even in the world of comic books where people come back from the dead all the time. Remember, Victor went out of his way to lock the moment of his victory in time to make sure that the Avengers couldn't pull any time travel shenanigans or multiversal machinations on him. We see Doom talking to Valeria, showing that he did actually succeed in bringing her back, but what the hell did he do to make the impossible possible? Well, you see, that's exactly what the book is all about. In Victor's anger and rage, he decided to take up his complaint with the Vishanti, elder gods and old ones who normally act as patrons to the Sorcerer Supreme. In the past, these three deities have shown amazing magical power, so surely if anyone out there can end up undoing the effects of death, it must be them, right? Only, as you might have guessed, the Vishanti want absolutely nothing to do with Dr. Doom. I mean, he's not exactly been the best Sorcerer Supreme, am I right? And hey, speaking of which, in this realm, Victor had to leave his own magic power behind, but in the realm of the Vishanti, emotion is manifested as power, and Dr. Doom is probably more emotional than he's ever been right now, but sadly, the Vishanti, even under this type of assault, refused to budge. It's with that, Dr. Doom decides to take his complaints to an even higher power, to the Living Tribunal, a cosmic entity tasked with maintaining the balance between realities, and who in my mind is basically just under the one above all, in terms of raw god power. Even Doom is ever so slightly in awe of the Living Tribunal. Instead of coming in all fire and brimstone like he did with the Vishanti, instead Doom comes to bargain. Though the Tribunal does have to raise an eyebrow to Dr. Doom's request. I mean, normally when you come to bargain, you have something to trade. And I mean, it's certainly not like Victor is asking for something simple like a cup of sugar, which means if he does trade something to the Tribunal, it's gonna be something big. Doom knows that the only way he'll get the Tribunal to listen is if he actually bares his soul fully completely, meaning that this cosmic being can look inside him and see everything that makes him up, the ego, the ambition, the crushing hubris, but also the true undying love for his goddaughter. A love so deep that it would make the literal emperor of the world move heaven and earth if it meant getting her back, which actually ends up doing the trick as the Tribunal agrees to the offer. Valeria is returned to life, and Reed and Sue are obviously overjoyed to be reunited with their daughter, though none of them are exactly sure what exactly Doom did, only that he's gone now. And in the absence of Emperor Doom of Earth, life more or less slowly but surely returns to normal. Well, actually that's not true at all. As we learn from all the talking news heads, the world might actually be worse than it was when Dr. Doom seized powers. Borders have been closed, all of his decrees rescinded, and all of the old politicians that bent a knee to the Emperor have retaken power and chosen to deflect any and all wrongdoing by saying that they were mind-controlled, even though we all know that's not true. By far the worst part, though, as Mr. Fantastic explains, is that Doom's time as Emperor of Earth has literally scarred humanity, left a massive gulf between those who are happy to have their freedom returned to them and those who are still waiting for Doom's return. Hell, one guy actually seems to be holding Doom and Valeria up as some type of modern Christ figures who will come again. We can see that Reed actually isn't alone in his lab at all, that Doom has returned to have one last conversation with him, and understandably Mr. Fantastic opts to let his old friend have it with both barrels. But not in the way you might think. He starts off by saying that if there was any man out there in the universe who could actually reasonably become a king of the world and make it work, it's Victor. But once again, this ended up being another sick and twisted monument to his own ego. Oh sure, you brought my daughter back and all, be grateful for that, but how many Lotvarians did you have to kill along the way? Worse still, you actually made fascism look like an easy answer to all of people's very difficult problems, and the world is now worse now than it was before. But why exactly is Dr. Doom right here, right now? Surely not to be lectured to, that's for certain. He only wants to tell Mr. Fantastic that he's dying. No, he doesn't want Reed to try and save him. He knows full well that he couldn't even if he wanted to, and he really doesn't want to. He only asks that before he give up his power, his title, his country, and even his very life, that Reed be nice enough to be the executor of his last will and testament, which is of course very conveniently cut off, meaning we don't actually know who's going to be getting what and when. Don't know if this is going to be another Marvel event story or if this is something we're going to have to read about in the Ryan North Fantastic Four book. What I do know for sure though is before the comic finally comes to a close, we actually do manage to see who the new owner of the Sorcerer Supreme mantle is, and of course because Marvel is Marvel, they ended up spoiling this before it actually was revealed in the story, but yeah, it's Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, everyone, who, as we can see, uses her own considerable power to summon back the Eye of Agamotto and the Cloak of Levitation because she will be needing it for her brand new series starting soon. And so that was One World Under Doom issue number 9, everybody, and man, when this series started, I really thought there wasn't anything that was going to stop me from putting this on my best of the year list. I think I easily called it one of the best events in years, and while I still mostly feel that way, I would be lying if I said this final issue didn't leave me a little conflicted. I really did feel myself asking when everything is said and done, that was it, huh? And I mean, I guess on one hand, I really shouldn't be surprised this is a story that decided to tackle the very heady topic of how do we stop strongman dictators from rising to power? How do we stop the destructing encroachment of fascism into our lives in the modern age? And the answer is, well, we don't have an answer in real life, so why should we have an answer in the world of comic books either? And you know what? Honestly, I might have been fine with an open-ended, non-ending too, but I think my biggest problem with this story is that it falls into that pit a lot of event stories fall into, and that is that the ending isn't really so much of a self-contained kind of thing and more of a to-be-continued go read these other books. Which, yeah, is kind of the nature of the beast and something I probably should be used to as someone who covers comics professionally like I do. But man, I'd be lying if I said I wish this book didn't end in a way that I could recommend it to more people. Maybe even people who only have a casual passing knowledge of comic books, but this ending here makes me just kind of go, yeah, I guess that's not gonna happen. Overall, though, there was plenty of stuff I liked in here. The art is great, the dialogue is stellar. I think this will go down as one of the more interesting Marvel events and certainly one of the more interesting Doctor Doom stories, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of great Doom stories out there. But overall, I think I'd feel comfortable only giving this one an 8 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.